Let me know when it appears.
Yeah, we can see it, but you're not at the beginning of your presentation.
Yeah. Is it obvious now?
Yes, it is obvious. It's very good.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us.
Sorry, معلش, let me present you and then you can start.
Okay, sure.
Okay, you're used to coordinating, so now you're a guest speaker.
Everyone
so
knows me.
Enjoy it. Okay, so welcome everyone to our Edu-BioMed seminar series. Today we're going to have a presentation on about one of the project outputs, which is the development of a phone application that the aim of this phone application is to encourage citizens to engage in citizen science research. Ramzi Malti is a landscape architect, and he is the coordinator of the Edu-BioMed project activities at AUB. And with respect to this output, Ramzi has been working closely with developers, and he has been guiding the development of the Edu-BioMed citizen science app. So today he is going to talk to us about citizen science in general and the potential and the purpose of this app and how we hope to develop it. Please go ahead, Ramzi.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining the fifth webinar for the Edu-BioMed project. Today, I will be discussing the use of digital technology in promoting citizen science, and the outline would be as follows. So first of all, I'm going to explain what citizen science is for those who don't know. And then I will be jumping to some examples of citizen science platforms and apps from around the world, such as the Ebird and the Naturalist. And from there, I'm going to lead to talking about the problems some biospheres and researchers are facing when dealing with projects that are of larger scales and research of larger scales. And from that, I'm going to talk about our application, the Edu-BioMed application, the goals behind it, and a brief preview of how it looks like. And it's available on both the Google Play Store and the App Store. And then if there's any biosphere reserved with us, there's a simple registration form that I'm going to be discussing, and the citizen science project form that I'm also going to be discussing, that you can easily fill out and through which we can add to our project. Does the next slide appear?
Yes.
Okay. So what is citizen science? Citizen science is the use of non-expert citizens in helping scientists and managers, specifically biosphere reserve managers, uncover changing patterns in nature. Those scientists, as we call them citizen scientists, they learn from researchers and managers, they engage in data collection and are involved in scientific research. They also engage with scientists and managers to help link knowledge acquired through these citizen science research and project into field action that will guide the management of biosphere reserves. Now, some of you might be motivated by just simple scientific curiosity, while others may be interested in a specific organism that they would like to study. So the good thing about citizen science is that you get to choose the research that interests you and that you find important. So this is one of my favorite citizen science projects, and it's the Ebird mobile app, and you can access the website through ebird.org. And simply one of the projects they have, which is on World Bird Migratory Day, October 9th. So citizen scientists around the world do bird watchings. Specifically, they collect, identify, locate, and upload as many bird species as possible using the Ebird phone application, which was developed specifically to allow citizen scientists to contribute bird watching data. So for example, in 2020, and despite the COVID-19 outbreak, more than 32,000 participants submitted over 80,000 checklists with over 7,000 species. And the good thing about citizen science is that there are many phone applications that have been developed to engage citizen scientists specifically in monitoring and data collection of organisms and various natural elements. Another project from around the world is the Naturalist, which allows for users to photograph plants, animals, and other organisms using an app, the Naturalist app, which is also available on both the Play Store and the App Store. And it allows to upload observations and add them to a global database of biodiversity to support local to global research projects. The nice thing about this project is that they run a program called BioBlitz, where a group of scientists, naturalists, and volunteers conduct an intensive field study over a continuous time period, and they attempt to record all the living species within a designated area. So far, this platform helped a lot of countries around the world. For example, in Britain, it helped in identifying introduced species, while it also helped in mapping out native species in Georgia, and the list goes on and on. It's endless. The use of these applications are endless. Another project which allows for the engagement of people with nature in a new and innovative interactive way, which is the Chronolog work. Sorry, I did not change the title. It's called Chronolog. And the way it happens is the organization that is interested in monitoring time lapses and changes in the environment around them, they set up a Chronolog photo station where passerbys align their phone to it, snap a photo, and email it to a Chronolog. And then that photo is automatically added to the right Chronolog time lapse, and then shared with the right organization and the community to see and record environmental changes. So by making environmental conservation a collaborative activity, people become interested in participating and compelled by the findings. A fourth project, which is BudBurst. So Project BudBurst gathers environmental and climate change information in local areas. It relies on citizen scientists to observe when trees, shrubs, flowers, and grasses have their first leafing, first flower, and first fruit ripening. Now, of course, the citizen science isn't only related to those 4 apps, but it's endless, and there's a lot of applications and websites and platforms that you might be interested in, and you can easily search online. Now, to go throughout our application, which is the Edu-BioMed application, which is also available on the both App Store and Google Play Store, we found out throughout the project that the Biosphere Reserve managers and researchers need to collect a lot of field data throughout the Biosphere Reserve, and they need to do this continuously throughout the year. Now, as we know that a lot of biospheres are understaffed and lack the means to implement larger strategies. And at the same time, they sometimes lack the necessary funds to complete large-scale projects. So due to that and due to other reasons, data collection is generally slow due to the large amount of collection that needs to be done. So this is where we propose our idea of creating a platform that allows for Biosphere Reserve managers and researchers to add projects in which citizen scientists or any other user can apply to and help the Biosphere Reserve and the researchers in acquiring data or any other set of activities and skills that they would like to do. So first of all, this is a good platform to recruit users as citizen scientists or researchers. It's used to notify users of upcoming projects based on the proximity to the Biosphere Reserve, the user's interests and seasonality. It also directs user to citizen science data collection and analysis platforms and other web pages, usually added by the manager or the researcher himself. And it allows scientists to select and contact citizen scientists. Also, it features history of involvement in citizen science project. It engages the local community in biosphere-related activities. So, for example, if there's a lot of schools around the biosphere reserve, and the biosphere reserve would like to do a project related to mushroom collection or plant identification, the students from that school can access our platform and easily communicate with the biosphere reserve or vice versa. And they can communicate information about the reserve itself and the trails. And last but not least, anyone in the biosphere reserve can either report a violation or ask for help in case they're lost or any sort of any other help. So to give you a preview of our application, on the left, you can see all the volunteer opportunities, which is the homepage basically with a search bar. The search bar allows you to search projects and biospheres that pique your interest. Of course, you can filter it either by biosphere reserve, by researcher, by citizen scientist, by project, etc. And then you can make an observation. So if you're on site, if you're within a biosphere reserve, and you would like to point out something that you find obscure or that you find very bizarre, you can make an observation and add it to the database, and it will be sent directly to the biosphere reserve manager or the researcher on the project. After that, you can browse your favorite project and follow whichever you find interesting. Now, specifically for the scientists and the VR managers, once they sign up, they can add a project and engage other citizen scientists by writing a short description, telling the people or explaining to the citizen scientists how to be involved in said project, and at the same time providing training sessions and attachments that each user needs to follow or complete for them to be part of the project. Here we tried to create a short form for all the biosphere reserve that hopefully we'll be sharing with every biosphere reserve in the Mediterranean first. And the registration is done by contacting AEB and submitting the form below. So for you to have your biosphere in our application, you have to directly send us an email to edu-biomed@aeb.edu.lb. We'll be sharing all those emails later on. And it's basically you giving us a short description of your biosphere so we can open an account for that biosphere. And the way it happens, you give us the name, the location, and our app allows for coordinates. So it'll be located on the map. A description about your biosphere, a representative with which we can collaborate and assess all the information on the application. And that representative will be able to edit and monitor all the information on that biosphere itself. Hashtags and some images that are quite attractive, and any additional attachment that you would like to add. And that is the form that you can follow and fill out the information. And then to add a citizen science project, first of all, if you'd like to add, for example, in Jabal Musa needs to be available in our application at first. So you have to register the biosphere as a biosphere in our application. And then researchers and managers will be able to add projects through the application. And to add a project, we also created a simple form that you can fill out and send to us. And basically it contains the name of the project owner, if either he's a manager or a researcher, which biosphere reserve you'd like to have your project in, a short description, the objectives, activities, outcomes, any method of data collection or any links to other data collection tools such as the Ebird, such as Naturalist, etc., or any other Excel file that you'd like to add or PDF. The hashtags and the results data analysis and any attachments. It's good to know that the citizen science can follow any project, and for him to be part of a said project, he needs to fulfill and complete all the attachments and all the training sessions provided within that project. So finally, you can download the app. It's available on both Google Play Store and the App Store. You can either use the link on your phone. Of course, it doesn't work on the laptop. It only works on the phone. Or you can use, and you can scan the QR code on the left, and you can easily download it through both stores. Thank you for listening to me, and if you have any question, I'm available to answer.
Thank you, Ramzi,
it was very quick.
the presentation. So the floor is open for discussions, comments, questions. Yes, Mark, go ahead. You have a question?
Mark, we can't hear you.
The app name is
Edu-BioMed. Yeah. And you can send us an email to edu-biomed@eub.edu.lb or daskara@eub.edu.lb. I'm going to share all the information on the chat box.
Yes.
So Mark, you're going to apply, Mark?
We already have Jabal Musa. We tried it out with Jabal Musa and Shuf Biosphere Reserve, but please give us your remarks, and the information added there was information added by us. So if you have any remarks or edits, please let us know. We can easily change them.
We have daily remarks and news, so we can do stuff with you for
Definitely.
sure.
And
okay.
Yes, you are the first biosphere in the application, Mark. You are right.
Super.
So just to explain something about this app, this app is going to be open to all biosphere reserves in the world, but we're going to promote it mostly for the project biosphere reserves first, then the Mediterranean biosphere reserves, and then it is open for use by anyone. Now, the interesting thing about this app is that every biosphere reserve will manage its own data, and they will accept what kind of research is uploaded or not. So they are really in control. And every biosphere reserve that is uploaded on the app will have one person who has access to everything around that biosphere reserves in terms of data uploading or adding of projects or what have you.
And each manager or coordinator of the biosphere will have an access to a specific admin panel only for that biosphere. So for example, Jabal Musa, you'll have your own admin panel access only for you to access the biosphere of Jabal Musa and edit the information as you see fit and add whatever projects or information you'd like.
Joe, you have a question?
Yes, please. بس أقول أول شيء أنا من بكاسين منطقة جزين. We have a natural regional park. I don't know if you heard about this concept. It's French from 60 years ago, and they began this model. It's like a reserve, يعني. It's a living way with more than reserve. في صار 58 بارك regional park صار في بالعالم. نحن ما بعرف ديجا ماضيين معهم بجبل موسى بالبايوسفير جزير ريجن، عم نعمل مع بعضنا بايوسفير جديده اكبر من بس البايوسفير تبع شوف. ما بعرف اذا فينا نفوت بهيدا الابلكيشن. الكويستشن هو
actually this app is dedicated for biosphere reserves that are
UNESCO.
Yes, you have to be recognized as a UNESCO biosphere reserve. So Anna, I encourage you, if you plan on, I encourage you to work closely with Pierre, and we are ready to support at AUB to actually establish a biosphere reserve, because the logistics, there is so much lessons learned that have occurred so far that the logistics, it may be easier for you than when Pierre started or the Chouf Reserve started. Pierre, go ahead, please. Yes, Pierre, please go ahead.
Yes, I think Munir, you said Jabal Musa, but you meant Jabal al-Rihan. ما هيك؟ مع الشوف البيوسفير ما بعرف اذا جبل ريحان او جبل موسى. يس سوري قلت جبل موسى. يس مع الشوف. يس البيوسفير تبع الشوف. نزار.
I think you and I think Kasim together maybe with Jabal al-Rihan will be forming a joint biosphere reserve. And I also think, Munir, that Jabal Rihan is already a biosphere reserve by status, but unfortunately it's dormant and not active. So I very much encourage, very exciting to hear what you just said. I very much encourage, for example, Salma at AUB to maybe get involved into the status of Jabal Rihan. I don't know why it's dormant. It should come alive again, together maybe with Kasim, and have something really exciting going on. I don't think we can contribute too much there because we're kind of far away and a small group. But Salma, this looks really interesting for you guys if you're interested.
Yes, absolutely. Here the idea is that we, learning from your expertise in Jabal Musa and from the expertise of Shuf, what is the process, what are the logistics, how to apply, how to define it. You have a lot of experience working with the community, and how do we explain to the communities that they are part of a biosphere reserve? How do we get buy-in? There is a lot of work that can stem out, that we can work together to support the establishment of additional biosphere reserves.
Yes, Salma, I just want to say again that Jabal Rihan is already a biosphere reserve. All the work was done. Professor Jaradi in the past worked really hard together with others to make it a biosphere reserve, but it's dormant, it's inactive.
Yes.
So there's a great big potential to make it come alive. Sorry, I interrupted you. Yes.
No, absolutely. No, you're right. You're right. I think we just lost. Oh no, Joe is with us. So, Joe, into what areas? What are the villages that you are considering?
اوكي كان عندي سؤال تاني بس تجاوب اول شيء على السؤال. نحن بمنطقه جزين في عنا الاتحاد البلديات عنده تقريبا 50 فيلج، في 30 بلديه والبقوه ما عندهم بلديات.
Okay, so we can definitely work together and see how to build a biosphere reserve, apply the concept to your area and prepare all the necessary documentation to establish a new biosphere reserve in the Qasim area.
بس I need to insist إنه مضينا مع نزار مع الشوف مضينا biosphere to make one only يعني to merge if you want.
That's excellent. That's excellent. That's excellent. If you have already signed, then this is perfect.
السؤال بليز اذا ما بنقدر نفوت بالابلكيشن لانه منا بايوسفير منا هلا اليوم كريجنال بارك، فينا نفوت ما بعرف الواي انذر واي هي انه نكون يوزر او ساينتست ما بعرف شو سميها مارك public scientist. Yes, researchers.
Absolutely. What you can do if you have already signed a memorandum of agreement with Nizar with the Shuf Biosphere Reserve, maybe I'll have to check with the team, because also this application is not a pure AUB application. It's a project application, and the whole project team is concerned. But I think if you have a memorandum of understanding with the Shuf Biosphere Reserve, then under this partnership, you can be featured in the app. But I will confirm to you after I talk more with you and I talk with the partners. Pierre is one of the partners in this project.
Thank you.
But definitely, Joe, you can log here. The interesting thing about being part as a biosphere reserve is that you are the custodian of the data and the projects that are reported in the app, and the promotion of citizens to come and collect data in your area. This is the advantage. And then you are partner with all the other biosphere reserves that we are trying to recruit into the app.
Excellent, right, yes.
Do we have any additional comments or questions, suggestions? Okay, I want to thank you all for attending today's session. Now we are in the process of, the app is posted, is present on Google Play Store and App Store. And we are now actively, Elsa is working with Emilia, and we are actively recruiting the project partners to contribute information into the app. And also, we will be working with Jabal Musa probably to come up with at least one citizen science prototype for Lebanon, so that we get the ball rolling, because as you know, citizen science is not very common in biosphere reserves and nature reserves. And so we need to get the process going so that we can demonstrate and explain the value of the work that is being done. So if no one has any comments, I would like to thank Ramzi for the presentation. And I would like to ask everyone who took the time to attend the session, thank you very much. And we'll see you next week. Ramzi, who is next week?
Next week, I think it's
Claire.
Claire, yeah.
Yes.
Claire.
So next week we will hear about the ethnobotany activity that was conducted at EUB. Thank you all very much, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you very much.
Next week, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.